Selling and renting, like oil and water, they don't mix. I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending October 12th, 2022. We're seeing more than normal. I've brought this up on other shows before where a property's for sale and for rent at the same time. And I get it. I get the thought process. The seller's thinking, if we sell for this price, we're happy to sell. But if we rent for this price, we're also happy to rent out the property. I get it. There are other factors to consider. The pool of buyers, if it's this big, buying a vacant property, buying a property that has a tenant in it, the pool of buyers is this big. It's exponentially smaller to find buyers prepared to buy a home with a tenant. Even if a buyer is looking to buy an investment property, meaning they're going to buy your property and rent it out, they would still prefer that it's vacant. When I'm working with buyers and we've got 5 showings lined up, the showing that has a tenant in it, it's way harder to book that showing, and my clients already have, wonder what the house is going to look like. And that's just because of the experience we've had. Now, your tenants could be the best tenants in the world. They could be paying on time, they could be respectful, they could keep the house spotless like it's their own. But the minute you tell them, oh, by the way, we're going to be looking to sell the house and we're going to have showings and keep the house this way, allow people to come into the home, let's be honest, even the nicest, best people see that as a hassle. I mean, I would see it as a hassle. I'm sure you would too. A tenant is not invested in the sale. This is not against the tenants. They could be the best people. But you're disrupting your way of life. It makes it harder to do showings on a home that's tenanted. And I know the idea is, well, while they're there, they're helping me cover expenses, but then I need to sell. I think you'll find you have better luck in selling and getting the price you want when the home is vacant. And I said I think, but I really am saying I know from experience that's the best way to do it. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. You know, a few weeks ago I said, keep a close eye on listings. Now I'm also saying, keep a close eye on sales. And right now, both are low. And as long as they both come down kind of at the same pace and they go up at the same pace, listings and sales, we're not going to see too much change in price, I don't think. However, when one changes much more than the other, that's when we'll see some changes. So if sales stay relatively the same or go down, they're pretty low now, I'm going to show you. And if listings go way up and the market starts to get flooded, we will see a change in price coming down. But if it's the other way, sales go up and listings don't change much or come down, we're going to start seeing an upward pressure on price. So let's keep a close eye on sales and prices in the coming weeks. It'll really have a profound effect on price. Let's get into the numbers. I have here Vaughan. I will be covering Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham if you're joining us for the first time. And I'm speaking about detached properties only, and then I'm going to cover condos for all of York Region. So here's Vaughan, detached properties, broken down by week for a whole year. It is a bit of a crazy week. We've got here week ending October 12th, 22 sales, only 22 sales. It's not a lot of sales. 7 of those were at $2 million or more. average sold price shot way up to $1,920,000. It's a big number, especially compared to when we were sitting around 1.6 the previous week. So what happened? It just so happens in that week, a bunch of sales were in the 1.7 to 2 million range, and then seven of them over the 2 million into the into the 3 million range, and that just brought the overall average up. So that's the average, but you've really got to look at your neighborhood. If it's important for you to do something, sell, buy, you really got to kind of see what's going on in that neighborhood that you're interested in. Average sold price this week is 6% higher than what it was a year ago. But if we just go back, we can see that generally speaking, average sold price has been way lower than what it was a year ago. Average sold price has been affected, but because sales are so low, median price has also been affected. And we're trying to give you different angles here. Average sold price is 6% higher than last year. Median price is 2% higher than last year. We have the dotted line here, which represents the 4-week moving average. And we can see here that if we go back 4, 5, 6 weeks, actually average sold price was coming down. And I guess the people buying the $2.3, $3 million properties were all waiting to get together and buy it all in 1 week. There must have been a sale on luxury properties, I'm not sure. But that's kind of what happened, and it's kind of moved prices. Look like they're going up, but actually they have been coming down quite a bit. Sales, only 22 sales. Overall, year to date, we have 42% less sales this year versus last year. That's a big number, 42% less sales. And listings, we have 14% less listings. So sales are way down, but listings are also way down. The orange, that's this year's listings. The blue, that's last year's listings. Months of inventory is sitting at 2.8. The reason there hasn't been much change, sales and listings are kind of coming down at the same pace. Richmond Hill, 8. Am I reading that number? It's so small, it's hard to read. 8 detached properties were sold. That's half of what we sold the previous week, which was 16. 8 were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Richmond Hill also had several properties just up close to 2 million and then over 2 million, but there were only 8 sold. Average sold price is sitting just under 1.8 million at 1,794,000, which is 17% lower than where the average sold price was last year. Average sold price last year was heading up, especially towards January, February. We knew what that trajectory looks like. This year, average sold price seems to be going the other way, 17% lower than last year. Median price is 6% higher than last year's median price. And if we look at the 4-week moving average, it's sloping down, but just slightly. Sales, only 8 were sold. Year-to-date sales, 42%, just like Vaughan, 42% less sales this year versus last year. Listings, way down. We listed only 23 detached properties. Active listings is down. Months of inventory is shot way up to 5.2 months of inventory. So the previous week, we sold 16. This week, we sold 8. So 8 is considered, for the sake of the exercise, the new norm. When we project selling 8 each week with the same amount of properties we have for sale, it shoots the months of inventory way up. That's why that number's gone to where it is at 5.2. So here's Markham. 21 sales in Markham. Not a big difference from what Vaughan's doing in sales. 6 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price has also gone up to $1,878,000. $1,878,000 is 3% lower than last year's average sold price. Median price of $1,630,000 is 1% lower than last year's median price. Sales, year-to-date sales, 49% fewer sales this year in Markham for detached properties versus last year. 49%. At this pace, you could see the difference between the orange and the blue, which is last year's sales. At this pace, before the end of the year, we're going to have 50% or more fewer sales this year versus last year. Listings, 27% fewer listings. Months of inventory climbed up a little bit to 2.0 months of inventory for Markham. Condos, so this is for all of York Region. 25 condos were sold. So sales are low across the board here. 25 condos were sold. 2 of those were at $1 million or more. $700,000 is the average price of those 25 condos that sold. $700,000 is 6% higher than last year's average sold price. And condos, generally speaking, for the most part, are a little bit higher than last year's average sold price when it comes to condos. Median price is also 6% higher than last year's median price. The median price is $659,000. Sales compared to last year, big difference. 34% fewer condo sales this year versus last year. 4% more listings this year, and that's year to date, January 1st to October 12th. So 4% more listings. Months of inventory sitting in a balanced market range of 4.1 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary of months of inventory. You know, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot to keep focused on and what's going to happen if you're following the market, whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you're just really, really interested. There's a lot to keep an eye on, and it kind of seems like we're on a teeter-totter of which way it's going to go. We know rates are going up. We know affordability is going to be even tougher. Let's see what happens in the near future. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.